I am going to make mistakes. Me, Maria, the 5D mystic woo lady here. And that's every person who is a functional adult can say, I am going to make mistakes, with a nervous system that maintains a securely attached space, which is why it's about you being whole here. And this is what healthy self-worth, as Terry Real points out, you're not superior, not inferior. And a person who has differentiation of the self and a whole heart is able to consistently be in the enlightenment vibration of their physical human being body ecstasy. You hear Sadhguru talking about it, but he is a spirituality guru. For the mystics, they don't know how to maintain it. In fact, I've seen many of them say, you can't always be, as they go through what would be their cycle. Because see, when you don't know how to regulate your own emotional body, which is connected to your own nervous system, which began self-regulating based on what your environment was. We don't learn to self-regulate by ourselves, which is why all of the expert trauma therapists, the good ones, inform people like Terreal, trauma is relational and intimacy is at its core. When you don't have intimacy here, the avoidant is disconnected. It's like having your head chopped off. And the amount of overwhelm when emotions begin to rise is something that is not explainable, humanly speaking, unless you have good foundation of the attachment category of your attachment human being system. And the attachment style is also ideal because it can help a grown-up to be like, wow, here's who I am. That's why we got people making fun of each other in their different attachment styles. The couples that are avoidant and anxious, they're showing, hey, here's how avoidant and anxious can work together. So some people, they're securely attached, which means we are not working out insecurity with anybody, because the reality is we don't handle clown faces as romantic anything partners. The minute that your sense of self is not completely stable in a heart that is whole, I, a 5D mystic, will know. And so will you. The difference is my brain is activated in my higher social area because I don't have trauma memory. I don't have childhood trauma. I don't have attachment insecurity. And so I'm not going to read an evil human being here. In fact, I'm not going to feel that I'm in the presence of somebody who is evil. I've known people who are envious, jealous, spiteful, liars, a lot of things. I just have always called them clown faces. It's like, how do you not know that every one of us can read a room? How do you think you know everything? You can't know everything because you're not in my body. So let me go to Sadhguru. Once you have no problem making mistakes, admitting them and correcting them, hardly any mistakes will happen. No, we will consistently make mistakes, but the difference is in here, I'm not defective, I'm not broken. And that's why humans, not defective, not broken. The story and the stories, those who want to consistently maintain separation consciousness, where the word means that you and your own one brain are not working with your left and right mode. The emotions that arise from your human being baby body, which is now an adult body, you don't know of them until you've recognized your pattern. You have a pattern. I have a pattern. That means you know your triggers. Childhood trauma survivor, now therapist and healed and working still on, I'm sure, expressing how it feels to be healed and how it's going and all this stuff. In one of his recent shorts, he shares 2 triggers for people who are childhood trauma survivors are moods. And in one case, it's you overly go and tend to take care of somebody else. And in another case, it makes you feel like, why can't you take care of yourself? And here's where it's a infant who's either mommy, daddy, let me come help you, or this isn't right, I'm going to get rigid. And then there's a lot of other variables, because again, if your household has emotional neglect, then you're going to be in a different, there's not fight, flight, freeze response. So that nervous system isn't what gets engaged. There's a lack of vitality. There's a lack of drive. There's a lack of, even if I demonstrate I care, I'm interested, there's an apathy until the person's like, wow, this is really nice. I really want more of it. They'd have to be inclined to want more of it, or to have a good therapist and or good psych education to know, oh, wait a minute, maybe I have avoidant attachment category or disconnected attachment style. Maybe I have the emotional neglect. Let me look at my household. Well, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I was ignored a lot and I had to take care. And so I'm inclined to always take care. I don't feel alive, but I know I'm alive because I'm breathing. Human baby 101. 4D is busy being stars, which is beautiful, but the stars is a bonus. So being a mystic is a bonus for a person who has securely attached within one's own body and has a whole 3-year-old heart. So my differentiated self, personally, that's why I come here with that experience. I know how to be Maria imperfectly. Ask anybody. You'll see just how many beautiful as well as other ways. I'll have to get my family on here one day. And I told them, just say it all. That way they can know that I'm imperfect. While you all think I think I'm perfect, but it's not the case. It's just I don't back down. So when you are a person who doesn't back down, other people don't always like it. And it makes it look like you think you know everything, which I do, but for my subjective life experience. And this is the point. It's not superior and inferior, but in order for a person to take me as you wish, as you will, it means that you need to have the same whole heart. So you need to be able to laugh about the fact that we're different, and so different that we can have a passionate discussion about it. This is the part, passion is amazing. So on another note, you're not going to fuck up a real connection by telling someone how you feel. And here is where people don't actually understand this when it comes to their oversoul and they're not 5D. They actually think that there are stages, or they want stages, or they want some form of answer to why something isn't going how it's going, but it's not because of them actually thinking. So it's the feeling, the longing to attach, because that's that attachment system of every human being body. It's our mammalian heritage. So the minute suffering arises, emotional overwhelm and longing, it's that desire to reassure oneself. When you're a person who's aware of the attachment system, this gives you an answer to what that longing is. When somebody says, I've seen a couple of different interviews when it comes to monogamy, because I'm a polysecure, solo poly person. And so polyamory, we have more than one partner, and we're not emotionally dependent or mentally or physically dependent. We tend to live a main-centered life with ourselves, and then we add. So you add love. And when I've seen people who are against it, not only is it because it's different than what they're used to, which makes sense, but there's this attachment system to take into consideration. And for example, Sadhguru's spoken on this as well. And his way of talking about it was, and is, as all others, it's about the emotional insecurity that arises. And so here's where a person who's practical or who wants to tell me they can use their brain, when I explain to you that your attachment system works a specific way and your nervous system, and that they work together and you're the owner of it, and there's psych educators out there who can explain it. I'm learning still with my trauma-informed courses. The minute you understand how you work is the minute that you can allow yourself to understand that it's not about struggling or resisting or needing to feel it. You understand, and then you can apply. So yoga, portfolio of ventral vagal nervous system toning exercises, mindfulness or meditation. It's about you working with that prefrontal cortex. And in these instances, you're able to harness what is happening inside. But that's only if you're treating your relationships as a bonus, and if you're understanding that the human body of you and this longing is not needing to be with a story of the whole you have to suffer. No, love is actually when you're in your ventral vagal state. So securely attached people always can be on in that enlightenment vibration. Here's my 5D mystics. And that's because you have a relationship with your emotional body, but it's your attachment system that you immediately were able to say, you know what, we're right here. We're imperfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're not going to be liked by everybody. It's a very straightforward deal growing up for some of us. For those who it was not, that's why the good childhood trauma therapist, attachment therapist, and anybody who can teach you about codependency and the difference is important for your knowledge, besides the lovely tarot readers. And again, we'll keep talking a little bit more about that because I'm running out of time. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions, reach out. Have a great day.